Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Welcome back. While Jesse's over there wrapping up a couple things, I'm just
Ooh,
Dr. Dabber Switch.
what are you smoking on today, my friend?
You know when we just had that episode with Frank and he left us a couple goodies? I'm trying Zod today. So
Ooh,
Zod is a live resin diamonds made by Moxie. So
yeah, that sounds good. I've really enjoyed what's it called?
super lemon haze.
Oh man, that's been awesome. I love the diamonds because it's so much easier to be able to dose, I feel,
Interesting.
and it's really clean. I love the feel, like the taste. It's been good, dude. I've had to go off of flour for a little bit because it's been a little rough on the throat.
Yeah.
But yeah, but anyways, guys, what we wanted to talk about today, we were kind of discussing some of the things that we've experimented with in the past, and also what we talk about all the time, but being a little bit more specific. And today we're going to talk about like how terps affect us and the reasons why we feel it on certain terpenes.
And
And
maybe
for
what terpenes we go to for
yeah,
specific things.
instead of just strain specific, right?
Yeah. Well, because there's so many strains, and from state to state or grower to grower, you might find that the terpene that was really prevalent from one grower is not really prevalent from the other. So you
Oh
might
yeah.
get totally different effects for the exact same strain name as you would have than you're expecting. So 100% today's topic, we're talking terpenes.
Terps, terps, terps. So, man, I mean, before we get really into the weeds of it, what were your thoughts usually earlier on when you were smoking? Were you thinking about terps? Were you that deep into it?
I mean, at this point, early on, no. No, when I was first starting, probably like most people, my cannabis knowledge was minimal. So I didn't have a really in-depth understanding about terpenes, flavonoids, even just like how each cannabinoid might affect the body differently. So I didn't really play in that field. And I know with your stories, it sounded like you really haven't played in that either when we were first getting into
No,
cannabis.
no, it was whatever little cart that you got me from Colorado. It was like a half-gram cart,
Yeah,
and it
probably.
had the stylus on the end of it
Oh my gosh.
for your phone. Remember those?
I think
And
that's got to have been like an all-in-one. And I think the only place that I got those was in like Parachute or something. I don't think it was even
um,
Denver, which is
no.
hilarious.
Yeah, because I remember you used to get these all-in-ones back in the day before they went back to 510s, and then everybody loves the all-in-ones now. But
Yeah.
I still prefer the 510s. I don't know what it is, but I just do. It's just a better, I don't know. Maybe it's just the nostalgia, but
I
yeah,
like
man.
not having as much waste. Like you're not throwing away battery, all this extra crap with every single one. Even with a 510, you're obviously throwing away the cartridge every single
Yeah, the
time, you know?
glass and metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
I'm like you, man. Like I wasn't thinking about it. I was the experience is what I was going for. It wasn't necessarily like, oh, what's in there? And that's the funniest thing that we've realized over the years.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's because you don't realize that that is such a huge factor in the experience that you get. And even so, terpenes, they're just like naturally aromatic compounds that are found in plants. And the other one that I thought was funny is they're found in insects as well as plants. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, maybe I don't know. I don't know what kind of bugs. Maybe like some beetles, like stink beetles or something. They have specific terpenes.
So what
So
does that mean?
I don't
Can we
know.
smoke the bugs?
Well, I mean, you can't. Well, yeah, you could, but will that give? It's like saying, can I smoke lavender or can I smoke pine needles or can I smoke hops or, any other thing that terpenes come from? Can I smoke sage? All of these things you could potentially smoke, but are you going to get the effects you're hoping for or any desired
Well, no,
effect?
no. like you brought it up, dude. So bugs in nature, so certain beetles, ants, and termites and butterflies actually produce terpenes as pheromones or defense chemicals. So that makes sense, right? Like pinene, some beetles use that for communication, and farcine, which is
Listening.
also which is
Interesting.
also found in cannabis, is an alarm pheromone in aphids that tell other aphids danger. Like, see, that's
Interesting.
what's kind of cool. Like when you kind of deeply go into it. Like a couple of nights ago, I had some super lemon, and then I was like, well, I don't want to have to come out here and have more right now. I've
Yeah.
kind of enjoyed it. I've only been going outside to smoke maybe 2 times a day now. Pretty crazy, right? With concentrates. Tried
Yeah.
those amazing edible the caramels.
Yeah.
I tried those. They're good. They're not super strong.
Do you feel like the other ones that are 50 milligrams hit harder than those? Or did you eat a whole
Yes.
caramel? Okay.
No, I ate half a caramel and then I waited maybe a few hours and ate the other one to kind of keep it going, but it never got really high. And even though it was like 25 milligrams I was having, the unicorn tears were stronger. So another edible, they're a live
Really?
resin.
Yeah, that was supposed to be
Um,
their best seller.
yeah, and it's strong. The flavor's weird, the texture's weird. It's okay. It's just really grainy, but that's
Yeah.
just edibles and
Was
it's
that
not a
just
ton of
the
sugar.
10 milligram one that you felt was strong?
They
Or
weren't
did you
10,
take
they're
two?
21 milligrams.
I
So
thought
per
they said
piece.
10 on the bag.
No, no, no.
Oh,
It says
shit.
21 milligrams per.
I swear it was 10, so I told Emily they were 10. So she ate an entire one and was like, this is a lot higher than I thought for 10. I guess I don't know my dose. Holy fuck. I thought those were 10 because we split them and they went in a Ziploc bag. And I looked for their like I looked online, they're sold out everywhere and they don't have the details for them. So I couldn't find it. And I'm like, I can't find information about this at all because she
See,
was like,
that's funny.
is there CBN? Is there CBG? I'm like, oh shit,
No, that
I don't
shit's
know.
strong. And they were actually stronger, which made me think about the terp profile. So both of them are live resin, and which is nice because you're
Resin
getting
or is
more.
one rosin?
Good question. No, the gummies were rosin, but even
Ah, that's
then,
why they hit better because a resin is usually still distilled after
right.
the fact. So even though it's the live, it's like, oh, hey, you get the better terps and stuff. But we've talked about, even like Al talked about on his episode of terps in edibles don't do the same. And you actually have to change and find almost different plant compounds to mimic that same entourage effect of getting the benefit from the terpene in the edible version versus smokable because it's
Well,
different therapeutic effects or benefits, you know.
no, exactly. And that's why people have a hard time when they are making their own edibles, bakery, confections, gummies, lollipops, whatever. When you make your own, you're usually distilling from your own bud, right? So usually in the form of a tincture or an alcohol is being produced, but you're getting all of those those actual plant derived terps, so those cannabis derived terps, I mean, I should say, those cannabis derived terps that are getting into there, and that's why you're getting that certain effect. So when you go to the store and you go, oh, I'm going to get green apple, you're thinking you're getting a green apple strain, but you're just getting more than likely
Synthesized.
botanical terps put into there. But it makes sense because the consistency. Have you ever had edibles like gummies you made? And I've never had this happen, but I've given gummies to friends, and I said, put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
And they go, okay. And they put it in their sock drawer and they pull it out and it's moldy. And they're like, why? And we're like, well, you have to chemically change the compound of the product that you're putting out there. Like it's not the way that we would make edibles. That's not the same way that they're doing it in a lab. So it's very significantly different, which is crazy because it's like,
Well, because they have to
uh,
have that shelf life too. And so they're
right.
trying to keep a longer shelf life versus, hey, like keep these refrigerated and eat them within at a regular time. Like don't let them sit for 6, 8, 12 months. Like that's not what you want to be doing with this product. And if you are, maybe just reevaluate your relationship and go, do I need this much cannabis if I'm truly only using like once in a blue moon? Because most of the time having a old product that's more than likely had access to air or light. Well, your composition of that compound has now altered itself over the course
100%.
of 6, 8, 12 months. So,
Well, that's why I'm a big fan of buying the really small bags with maybe 5 pieces in each one of them. It's not going to be a big investment, but it's also going to be a way for you to kind of figure out dosing because the smaller dose in these bags, you can start trying to figure out exactly what's going to work because people tend to, just like you said, they'll buy like a big bag or a bunch of gummies. They're like, about $300 worth of gummies. I'm like, good Lord, are you eating them all day? But it's
right?
like, no, but they do that because they're like, oh, I see a deal. But you don't go to, well, no, people do all the time. They see the same thing in Costco. Like, oh, I'm gonna get, 5,000 capsules of ibuprofen because it's on sale at Costco.
Yeah.
Good to
How
plan for
often
the
are you
future.
using it? And honestly,
And should you be using it as much?
every time that I've done that, I'll go back later and I'll go to use it and it's like, oh, it's expired. So I've got like 3/4 of a bottle of ibuprofen that's expired instead of going and buying like a dollar bottle that's full of, well, more than enough for me and my family for probably several years. But it's that like,
Well,
well, but it's a deal, it's on sale, I gotta have it, and so you buy it because they're like, oh, well, if you just spend this much more, you could get this. So even though you might not use it and you don't actually need it or there's not a justification for it, you feel like there is because, well, you're saving money by spending more.
well, you bring up a really good point too, because I mean, just saying that look, just because you see a deal and you're going to get a bunch doesn't mean you're going to use all of it before it expires. Now, unlike the ibuprofen, which you could sit it on the shelf for years and years, and even if it expires, it's still going to be pretty much the same chemical composition, maybe degraded a little bit. Cannabis, on the other hand, when it's expired, it turns into something else, or it's just not worth your time. You
Or
remember
you
the
might see
blueberry
mold.
we smoked that was just like over a year old, been hanging out in that jar?
Yeah.
Like not a good experience. And I'm glad that we did that on the show because it kind of shows like, hey, guys, it's not just awesomeness all the time. Sometimes it's a bit rough.
Yeah, especially when you do that. So the terpenes, like for me, I lean a lot towards like pain relief because I have a lot of chronic pain and existence is pain for me seeks. So, you know, for sorry, that's a Rick and Morty quote right there.
Uh,
Yeah. So one of the top ones for pain, top terpenes are beta-myrcene or beta-caryophyllene and myrcene. So those have been some of the two largest ones, like best terpenes that I've kind of leaned towards. Now, limonene is also in there with pain, but I find that there's so many different terpenes that kind of cross over. They might touch multiple different things. So it might also be good for pain, but then like sedative or analgesic effects or, you know, other types of effects that one might experience from
yeah.
even like myrcene.
Well, and that's a good thing too to also keep in mind, typically with myrcene on that when you're getting more sedative effects. So it's thinking about where you're at mentally right there, what time of day it is. I mean, for those who are less experienced or have a lower tolerance, and you're like, oh, I have pain in the morning, like an ibuprofen. I'm just gonna, smoke Bubba Kush. And you're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. You're gonna be asleep. And
Yeah.
it's because you have to, and that's also a really good idea too, is that the dosing isn't necessarily for the THC. It's also for the terpenes that you have in there, that entourage effect where they all hang out together and they're like, dude, we're just gonna make this groovy. Like that, it's exactly where you say myrcene, like one of my favorites is limonene, but it's on the uplifting side. I like pinene as well for mental clarity, but there's also kind of a drawback from that. Too much of either one can make you extremely anxious if you have too much. And that's where I find that distillate pens that have plant-derived terps, that makes me
Yeah.
more anxious.
100%. Yeah, because it's always that like very distilled down product. And then the terpenes that you're getting back in aren't even the normal cannabis derived terps. And you think that, hey, it's not going to be a different experience. They're still terps, right? Yes, yes, they are still terps. but the experience is like so much different. It's way harsher, I feel like, with plant-derived terps than it is with cannabis-derived terps. I'm more prone to coughing, like you said, anxiety,
Oh yeah,
tightness, just like a whether it's in my jaw or my shoulders, like I'm way more prone to anxious feelings or tightness just throughout my body from those.
absolutely. Like you can tell right away based upon what method you're having. Do I have freakouts with flower? Rare. I don't think I've ever had a freak out, a green out with flower. A green out for me with flower would be I just passed out because it was just so sedative. Like that's a green out for me. Not, oh my gosh, but from
I don't know.
carts,
I think people
from
who go to
plant.
the hospital and that or like freak out, that's definitely a green out on their first experience of, I'm
I
dying.
consider that more of like less education before you jumped into the pool. It's like
Hmm.
jumping into the deep end of the pool without a preserver on, and you're
Or
like,
knowing
no,
how to
have you ever?
swim.
Yeah, that's exactly like you jump in. You do you know how to swim? It's not that deep, is it?
What's swimming? Yeah.
And you sink to the bottom, and now you're freaking out. And they go, oh, I can't do edibles. I can't do, which you should. You should listen to your body. But I would be paying attention more to the package than I am to the strain name. Because I think that that's where right now we had talked about this before many times. The bastardization of all these different strains. I mean, you've hybridized them to death. Now we don't even know what the hell they are. And they're like, oh, what's this crossed with? 17 different strains to make fruit
Yeah.
salad. And you're even
Tossed
then
fruit
you're,
salad. Like,
yeah, tossed
what?
fruit salad.
Uh,
Yeah. We ran out of names.
yeah, for reals. And I'm like, but why does it always have to be something new? There are so many strains at this point, so many strains. And there's like over 150 terpenes found within cannabis. Like, why do we need to continue to bastardize it more when we've gotten so far from some of the originals that had incredible, like, therapeutic and medicinal benefits
Right.
that were like, but like, Skittles, or look at this cakey strain now, or, you know, King Henry the 11th, because we've already named all these others.
Dude, I want like a John Cena strain.
Yeah.
I want a Roman Reigns strain. I
John
want the
Cena would be
Rock
funny.
strain. I mean, like that'd be awesome. It reminds me of that one movie John Cena was on, and he was playing like a drug dealer, and he has like this fishing tackle box, and he pulls it open, and there's just pills and shit in there. He
Oh,
goes,
that's
"I
funny.
got everything. I got MDMA. I got mescaline. I got shit to make your dick hard. I got shit to make your dick soft." It's
I've
just like.
seen that. What is that?
I
Oh
don't know. It's
man.
it's with Tina Fey. It's like some movie where they like
Oh, is it like
are
the mom
some,
or
yeah, it was
something?
like some type of mom show where they're just like we're gonna live crazy,
Okay,
and then John
crazy.
Cena's like this great. But that's what I'm saying. Like you run out of names and they just start randomly. I mean, we're gonna go in one day and they're gonna be like, and I'm just looking around the room I'm in, like raccoon porcupine strain. You're like, what? And like
Yeah.
there's two pictures I saw at the same time, so I just named it that. I'm just like, it doesn't even matter at this point, like literally. And I'm gonna go back to where Q Pins a long time ago had said like strain names are bullshit. Well, he's right. Many people are right when they say that. However, it helps me to identify the plant that I like to use. And it's really frustrating when you go to another state and you try like a Jack Herrera and you don't get the same feeling. Like I've had some from Arizona
Hmm.
in a disty, totally different from the flower I have here in Utah. So I was just like, and I like the experience of the Utah one, but here's the weird part. I actually enjoyed the Disty more. So I'm like, what terps were in that? That's what I'm more concerned about. But like
Yeah.
thinking, because now I can look at the terps, and that's what's really disappointing is that there are brands out there that are just like THC, meow,
Oh
and
yeah.
then and a little bit of terps, and it's just like, man,
Or no
honestly, it's like a
terps, or just
whole,
plant-derived
yeah.
terps. So it's never the same experience you're hoping for. It's just subpar.
Well, and it's like those things around here at Kush Cubes. Like all I'm thinking is, what terps did they put in that to make people feel what they're feeling? Because I mean, people are like, oh
What
yeah, I feel
products?
high, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. I could eat three, what's it called, Mucinex, and I'll get high as hell.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could have three of those and it'd be like, whoa, dude. That doesn't, I don't care about the high. I care about like, what is it making me feel? And that's where I feel that those who are not, they're definitely tourists within the cannabis space, which is great. But man, like you can't just wander aimlessly. You're going to get lost in the woods, and then you're just going to realize. I mean, we're going to find you out in the like 2 miles away from the main civilization, and you're over there like,
Looking
heating up
rocks in the
two knives,
mountains,
and you're
right?
like, you got this dry swag weed, and you're like, oh, this one's the best, and you're like,
I know, right?
who let you do this? Like, you need a guide.
Well, I see these pictures on Reddit every once in a while, and it'll be like, oh, look at this stuff. Is this good? And it literally, like, it looks like bottom shelf hemp that was outdoor grown in your friend's backyard next to like an apple tree and their dog shit and their, all this other stuff that you're like, this didn't seem like it was a quality product. And they're like, oh, I got this for this deal. And you're like, why did you buy that anyway? What about that makes you think it's weed or cannabis or going to benefit you or get you high or wherever you're feeling you need to go?
The same people that found out that huffing metallic paint was better than regular paint. Like, it's what? Wait, no,
We've
no,
all
no,
got
like,
our things.
no, no, dude. It's like those guys on Mad Max Fury Road and stuff where
Oh,
spray paint. That's
fuck!
yeah, but they're about to die, so they have to go to the Chrome God.
I've been awakened in Valhalla. Yeah.
Yeah, totally great, but that's like yeah, man, it doesn't make any sense. And the way that people think about like, well, what can I do to change it up though? And we did an experiment one time where we started putting plant-derived terps that you had like in tincture form, and we were putting it on there. And one of the things like I was putting in chat and I'm like, what happened when we did that? Like what was happening? And what it did is says we were remixing the flower. So when the entourage effect, the synergy between cannabinoids, terps, and minor compounds, when you add extra terps, it alters the aroma and flavor profile and change how the THC and CBD bind receptors to your brain. So it was crazy. You remember when we would drop it on there, we're like, I don't even remember which ones we did, but we'd put it on there and then we take a hit, and then it would drastically change the feel, like it would go to our
Oh,
cheek, and then it was like little bowls that we were doing, then we'd empty that one out and
I
load
think it
another one.
was, I have myrcene and
Okay.
limonene, alpha pinene, and beta caryophyllene. And so it was depending on the bowl, on the one, we'd just like mix a different terpene, try that on there.
Oh,
And
dude.
those, yeah.
And that day we were smoking and eating, like we had a day where we made edibles for like 6 hours. Do you
We
remember
made
that?
so many edibles. That was insane.
Yeah, we took all that bud and we turned it into chocolates, where we made those bougie looking chocolates where we put like little caramels inside of it or
Oh,
sea
yeah.
salt. Like we got bougie. And the best ones were the dark chocolate. But that day I remember very specifically because we were making those. That's when we made the fuck ones. And they were like 70 or 80
I don't know. I
per
liked
piece.
them.
They were so high, and the chocolate just made it even better. But because we made it from flour, it was awesome. Like it was like people have said that before. We gave it to so many people, and they're like, "Dude, those chocolates."
Oh, yeah. My cousin
There.
still, he's got crazy back pain and he's tried live rosin ones from all sorts of states. And he still told me to this day that nothing has beat the chocolates that we make ever. Not a
Well, dude,
single edible.
but that day was we were smoking flour all day,
Yeah, I love that.
and then into the night. And that's when we were mixing that, and I had one of those chocolates, and I
Yeah.
accidentally took a defuck instead of the regular ones. And then we said, whatever, smoking all that flour, putting new different types of terpenes on top of that
Yeah.
flour.
Space Jesse.
Man, yeah,
I
that was a
know.
bad day,
So,
but that was a lot.
what is your favorite terpene? What do you
My
think?
favorite, my favorite terpene is limonene,
Okay.
because of where it puts me in my mindset. However, because my my cannabis journey has matured quite a bit now, where now I can switch from an indica to a hybrid to a sativa at any time and know the desired effect I'm trying to get. So my second favorite is in the in the more the indica leaning, which is myrcene. I really enjoy myrcene. It's not too strong. It's not sedative enough like beta carotene is for me. Girl Scout cookies that has myrcene but a good amount of beta carotene. Depending on how many hits I have, it's to chill or night night.
You can definitely get you right there.
Yeah, what about you?
Honestly, I feel like it's very similar. I feel like, except for I do like beta caryophyllene a lot,
Yeah, you do.
but I also like alpha pinene. Like,
Well, I like terpenes as well. That's really nice
oh,
for the
yeah, it is.
ADHD brain. It's still really awake, but it's very calming. But pinene is my least favorite. I've had more issues with anxiety with pinene. So I'm always very, very like if it's a minor, I'm cool. If it's a top, I avoid because for me, I know that pinene will give me bouts of anxiety. That's me.
Yeah.
Like even Bubba Kush today, where people can go back and listen to some of our first episodes, and that Bubba Kush freaked me out. I could totally handle a Bubba Kush today. Totally.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It
it's been a long time. You've come a long way since then. So,
okay. Rando question. If a bug had your favorite terpene, what bug would it have to be for you to eat it?
something tiny, maybe crunchy. What's tiny?
I'd eat a handful of crickets,
Okay,
dried.
yeah, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, if they had like whatever our terpene was like, hey, you're gonna get
Salt,
really high. It's gonna be
lemonene, and some
great.
lemon.
Okay, I'll pop a handful of crickets. I mean, they
Crunch,
always had
crunch,
those
crunch.
candies when you were a kid growing up. It's like, oh,
Like
there's crickets
scorpion.
in it, or yeah, whatever. And you're like, all right, don't yuck
Well,
someone's yum.
guys, think about it. Like with your terps, you don't want to necessarily start running in there going, "Oh, I just got to smoke everything with the highest amount of THC." Really start asking more questions or look at the profile online or at the kiosk when you're up there at the counter. I know the days have changed where you could smell everything, which was amazing, but now you actually have a lot more information than we had back then. Most of it back then was just like smell it and the nose knows. But now you can go in there kind of sharpened on both sides. Nose knows, right? You'll know when it's good when you can finally open it up. But looking at the terp profile, I think you're going to be happier as opposed to just going for the highest THC.
Yeah, love you guys. Drop below
Take
what your
care.
guys' favorite terp is, and tune in next week.
Bye.